Hi there. Nice to see y'all. Let's see how we're doing here. All right. Well, it looks like we're live. There we go. Hi there. So we're up on YouTube, which is wonderful, and welcome. Just want to check and make sure that we're up on Facebook. Okay, there we go. Hey, hello, Kathy. What do you think of this new background? This is good evening, sis. This is what happens when your wife's an actress, and you only wait. We only waited 2 years. We only waited 2 years to get this backdrop, but I think it looks pretty good looking on there. There's something serene about it. But I like it. I like it even better than the Soji panels. Lisa and Chuck in Oregon. No one wants to comment on the backdrop. Looks nice. Thank you, Kathy. It actually has blue on the other side, so I thought I'd do gray one day, blue the next, gray, so that it didn't look all the same. Even if I wore the same clothes, it would look different because of the different color background. But I actually really like it. I think there's something kind of cool about it. Okay. Backdrop looks fantastic. That's probably Tess. And Tess, it worked. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. That's the way to do it. We'll go to our new technique in doing this. So, in our final chapter this week, looking at the Torah portion of Yitro, which has, of course, probably one of the most famous parts in the. Lisa wrote, "Loves the backdrop, but when the eyes are closed, it'll look great." Yeah, well, this is a tie dye shirt that my daughter made for me. I don't know, 2 years ago, but I like it. It's a very good T-shirt, nice and thick. But anyway, it is one of the most famous Torah portions because it has the Ten Commandments in it. And the fact is, we haven't really talked that much about the Ten Commandments. We talked about the first word, Anochi, or that first letter, the Aleph. And yesterday we talked about how our mind is crowded with so many things inside of it. But I thought today we would actually look at what the Ten Commandments are about. But really, it's the last one that I wanted to seize upon, and that is the commandment that says, "Do not covet." And every child that I've ever taught this to always is like, "Well, what's wrong with that? Why can't I want something that someone else has?" And it says that in it that you don't covet your neighbor's house or your neighbor's wife or your neighbor's field or anything. And then in the Ten Commandments in Deuteronomy, it also says, do not covet your neighbor's wife or their house or the field or the servants or any of that. And when you first look at it, it's like, I get it, but does that raise up to the level of being one of the, big laws that we have to go by, right? Is this one of the top 10 things that people do wrong, is coveting? And why is it so bad? What's the problem? And there we go. Why don't I get it so it's better in that bottom left-hand corner? I'm going to leave it be. The problem with it is it's like everything else we've been discussing. What goes on in your mind leads us to action. So if in our mind we're always putting ourselves down, and we're saying that we're worthless, and we're saying that we have no skills, or we're saying we're not smart enough, then after a while, that's the way we start acting. If I tell myself I'm worthless, I start to believe it after a while. On the other side, if I tell myself I'm amazing, I'm going to start to feel that after a while too. And I've always felt like what we say to ourselves and those things that happen in our minds certainly does go into our kind of psyche and the way we look at the world, which is one of the reasons why we end our sessions on positive notes and asking for positive things and asking for the feeling of love and the feeling of luminescence and the feeling of safety and the feeling of blessing. And today at the end we'll say, may I feel joy and may I feel whole. Because it's if what happens in our minds actually ends up coming true in the world and in our behavior, then those things that we think about become extremely important. So if we take a look at this idea of not coveting, what's the problem with not coveting is it leads to action. It leads to affairs. It leads to stealing. It leads to not liking someone because of nothing that they've done, but only because of something that they have. And if we approach our lives that way, where what we think has a lot to do with what we do, then you can understand why do not covet is one of the commandments that is way up there. Because if all we're thinking about is what that person has and what I don't have, then where does it leave us in our scheme of our existence? Hello, Jerry. Hello, Irene. Where does it leave us? It leaves us in a place where all we think about is what we don't have. All we think about it. But, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So sorry about that. If what's going on in our minds does lead us to action, then we need to not control what we think about, but when we do think about those things that lead us towards a negative place, to notice it, to say, is this really where I want to go? Is this something I really believe? Are the thoughts that I'm thinking about something that's going to benefit me? It's going to move me forward. It's going to give me a kind of positivity that allows me to go through the world in a positive way. If the answer to that is no, how do you combat it? Right? How do you stop those thoughts from coming through your head? Because, I'm not naive. We all have had and do have those thoughts in our minds of, wow, that person makes so much more money than me, or they live in a bigger house than I do, or they live in a house when I'm renting, or, they drive a better car. These are all kind of, first of all, they're all monetary and physical things. And that's the least of important. We don't say at the end of our meditations, may I get a new car? May I have a bigger house? We say things that are internal that lead us to a kind of satisfaction in our lives. And those things don't come from the material, which is really kind of, the last part of this coveting is it's all about the material. Their life is better than mine because they have this stuff. When if you went into that life, you'd realize that they think the same things you do. They're concerned about the same things you are. And their lives are as imperfect as yours is, as mine is. And what we're trying to do here in these meditations is not let our minds control what we do. That we kind of take a moment to pause, think about what we're thinking about, and asking that question, is this leading me towards goodness? Is this leading me towards something positive? Or is it dragging me down? Is it bringing me to a place that's not going to end well? Or is it bringing me to, oh, I'm sorry, you keep getting kicked out. There was a problem. Someone called me on my phone, which shouldn't happen, but it did. Hopefully you're back now. But are these thoughts leading me to something that's going to give me more satisfaction in my life, more fulfillment in my life, and a life that is filled with the goodness that I'm looking for? That's, I think, what we're trying to do here. And, as opposed to do not murder, do not steal, um, do not covet is like, don't let your mind control you into doing things that you wouldn't necessarily do. And I think we do that. I mean, this is part of what it means to be a human being, is where we go off of the road. We take detours. And a lot of times it's because we've been thinking we're lacking something, or we need something, or we deserve something. So as we sit quietly, let's just take notice of the fact that when we sit and when we breathe and when we think about that, there's no worries. There's nothing to covet. There's nothing that says that our lives are horrible. Because as human beings, as a being on this planet, there is no difference between the richest person in the world and the poorest person in the world. But the one who is completely literate and the person that has it all and the person that doesn't. What makes the difference is the relationships they have, the way they treat people, the way they're treated, and the love that you put out. As the Beatles say, the love you give is equal to the love you get. So let's go to our quiet time now, where if we are filled with thoughts of coveted type thoughts, those will be gone, because all we're thinking about is our breath. So all of the negative stuff, that all can leave us for at least these 20 minutes, and then we can get back to it. Hopefully at the end of this, you won't want to get back to those kinds of thoughts, but you're left with a more kind of peaceful feeling. Let's get into a comfortable position. Let's just concentrate on our breath. Allow everything to be as it is for now. There's no need to worry about anything. There's no need to desire anything. You can get to that phone call at 6. You can get to that email at 6. You can get to that meeting after 6. But from now till then, let's just quiet ourselves. Find some stillness. Make sure you're comfortable and at the same time relaxed. We've already been doing this for about 15 seconds, and I just realized how much I'm thinking about things. You might be too. Without judgment, let's just bring ourselves back. Bring ourselves back to our heartbeat, our breath, our physical being. And just feel that breath go in and out. I usually don't interrupt this much, but it's been another 10 seconds. Have you noticed your mind already has gone away? So let's just bring it back. This is the work, to bring yourself back from your mind into your body and allow everything to be as it is, just for now. final 3 minutes or so, we ask for two feelings. I invite you to ask for these feelings yourself. May I feel joy, and may I feel whole. We all deserve to feel some joy right now. May I feel joy, and may I feel as if my life comes together and I have wholeness. I feel like a whole person. May I feel that. May I feel whole, like there's nothing missing. This brings us back to our coveting. If you're not lacking, you don't covet. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. On each breath, ask yourself one or both of those questions. We're really putting those questions out into the universe. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. 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 May I feel joy. And may I feel whole. May I feel whole. May I feel whole. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. Try to feel that joy in your heart, inside of you, around here. May I feel joy and may I feel whole. Thank you so much for joining me today and this week. I really feel honored that you take this time to be here with me. Hope you enjoyed the new backdrop. And I hope may you feel joy and may you feel wholeness. I hope that you've felt some peace and some stillness today. Have a fantastic night. Have a wonderful Shabbat. And have a great weekend.